Is the Volkswagen Jetta still considered to be the poor man's Audi A3 or A4 sedan? That is the key question that I want to talk about today in CarBuzz's latest unboxing review. I'm Jay, and this is the 2016 VW Jetta. Specifically, it's the 1.T SEL premium trim, meaning it is towards the higher spectrum of the Jetta lineup. And, well, I have a few issues with this car. For starters, well, the exterior. This is actually the sixth generation Jetta. It's been around since 2010, and the exterior design has really not changed much at all. Same with the interior. About a year ago, Volkswagen updated the front headlight and taillight designs, gave the interior some updates as well, but when you compare this compact sedan to the competition, such as immediately comes to my mind, the Mazda 3 and in the brand new Honda Civic, this car really does look all 6 years of its age. And in this segment, specifically the compact sedans, a 6-year-old sedan is very old, and it's kind of surprising that Volkswagen has not updated this car much sooner than it simply hasn't. And I'm not really so sure why. For an example, the Volkswagen Golf that was just introduced about 2 years ago, that's the 7th generation one, it rides on a brand new platform, while this Jetta here still rides on the previous Golf's platform, which I just don't understand why Volkswagen doesn't redesign the Jetta already to make it built on the Golf's platform. The new Golf is a great driver's car, and the Jetta is also a nice driver's car, considering, within its class, but I still think that a Jetta based on the Golf's new platform would be a much better and more competitive car. And the reason why I'm comparing it to the Golf here is because back when the Jetta first launched, it was built on the same platform as the Golf. They simply got rid of the hatchback and attached the trunk. It quickly became, I believe, the best-selling European sedan in the United States. And it's continued to do very, very well for Volkswagen. But just get a good look at, the exterior styling. It's nice. Don't get me wrong, but it's very conservative. And it's aged well enough, but I think it's still a couple of years past its prime. Now this car, it does have these 17-inch alloy wheels. They look good, but I don't think they bring anything new to the car itself. I believe Volkswagen described this exterior as this crisp styling, and I get it, I see it. It works. But when you also compare it to the larger Passat, which, well, the American spec version is pretty boring, I do say this Jetta does look better. Alright, so under the hood, this is a 1.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's got 170 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. But people buy these Jettas mainly for their small turbo engines, and they are very well-engineered turbo engines. In fact, they might be a little too over-engineered because you have to go to a VW dealership to really have them serviced by their certified technicians. They're more complicated engines. Again, leave it to the Germans to overcomplicate their engines, but you shouldn't just take this car to any old mechanic. They could really mess it up if they don't know what they're doing. And just like the exterior, as I was mentioning, the interior, it's pretty plain Jane. That's not a bad thing for some people, but again, look at the competition today and you're seeing much nicer interiors. There was a time when this was probably one of the best because it was simple, but time has caught up with it. But another thing that the Jetta does have going for it, despite along with its nice engine, is there's a lot of rear seat and trunk space. In fact, it's kind of funny because this car is actually really big for the compact sedan class. In fact, it's almost considered a mid-size sedan. And if you're looking for a compact sedan, be aware that the Jetta is at the top of the spectrum size-wise. Another interesting thing here is that it looks premium inside in some ways, despite being a little plain Jane. Those seats, they look nice, but they're not leather seats, even though I know that's what you thought at first. They're actually leatherette. I found them to be actually pretty supportive. They feel nice. They do feel premium. But at the same time, I really don't see why Volkswagen can't at least offer leather or partial leather trim seats. So I'm going to start up this engine for you here, and I want you to hear what a nice turbocharged engine sounds like. And what's actually pretty good is that Volkswagen ditched its 2-liter naturally aspirated base engine a couple years ago. They swapped it out for a brand new turbo 1.4 liter, and that's actually also a very good engine too. The top of the line engine you can get right now is a 2-liter turbo engine in the Jetta GLI. It's much sportier in character than this particular one, even though this one's not so bad. But the problem with the GLI, or at least the problem I have with it, is that it goes over $30,000, and I think that's too much for a car in this class. And even this one, when I get to the pricing in a few more minutes here, it's quickly approaching 30 grand. There is also a hybrid option available, but I'm not so sure if it's a better choice than, say, the Toyota Prius, because the Toyota Prius, which I did a previous unboxing review of as well, gets really, really good fuel economy. And compared to the price of the Jetta hybrid and compared to, let's say, the Malibu hybrid, the Chevy Malibu hybrid that I did a review of as well, I think the Malibu hybrid might be the better value, but that's for another debate. Is there a diesel option here? Really? Do you have to ask? There is currently, as you probably know, or at least you should, a stop sale order on all Volkswagen diesels for the 2016, 2017, and probably beyond model years. Little thing called Dieselgate. So this is a 6.3 touchscreen. I found it to be only subpar, specifically the navigation system. Again, along with the rest of the Jetta, it's a little dated, but it's certainly not bad. What I did like, though, here is that because this is the SEL Premium for the 1.8 Turbo 4, you get a premium sound system, which definitely, I thought it was really nice to have, for sure. This car, again, premium. It also adds bi-xenon headlights, LED daytime running lights, cornering lamps, and an improved multifunction display compared to the rest of the Jettas. I also like having dual zone climate control. Again, at a time this was very premium for this class. Now it's all but standard. Again, Volkswagen, you really need to completely redesign the Jetta. Even something as small as having dual zone climate control doesn't cut it anymore. Another good thing about that touchscreen, with your smartphone plugged in, it does have smartphone integration, and the entire user interface, the UI of your smartphone, will appear on the screen. Again, nice touch, but still, it's nothing special anymore. Okay, now I'll give Volkswagen credit for this here. This is a cooled glove box. You can actually control the temperature inside. Nice, but it's not a main selling point for me. You can also get a 6-speed manual transmission in other lower Jetta models, as well as the sportier GLI. The automatic here is very nice, but personally I think I would go for the manual. That's just my personal preference. One reason being is that this car, it does have a nice suspension. It does have the GLI's four-wheel independent suspension. It makes for cornering very, very nice. It behaves kind of like a sports sedan, but not quite, let's say. I think the brand new Mazda 3, again, my prime example, drives more like a sports sedan than the Jetta does. And that's kind of the problem with the Jetta right now. Going back to my initial argument here, is the Volkswagen Jetta still considered to be the poor man's Audi A4 sedan? No, I don't think so. And this is where Volkswagen really needs to pay attention here. Just because you're giving this car a very good suspension, soft touch materials inside, a nice leather wrapped steering wheel with heating, a cooled glove box, it doesn't do the job anymore. You did a great job, Volkswagen, of creating the benchmark for a poor man's Audi or BMW, whatever, but it's still not good enough anymore, and even the brand new Honda Civic has surpassed this. But I would still take this car, the Jetta, with any engine, with maybe the exception of the hybrid, over the Kia Forte. I did an unboxing review of that. That's a nice car, but it's also too dated for me. And of course, the Toyota Corolla, I review that as well. That car is better for people who just need something to get from point A to point B, and that's it. So this car, this Jetta 1.T SEL Premium, it comes to a total of $28,145. A base 1.4 turbo Jetta starts at just about $19,000, which, okay, I think that is actually a pretty good bargain, especially if you get it with a 6-speed manual. I think that's a fairly fun car for less than 20 grand. But the features start getting very expensive very, very fast here. And I would like to see Volkswagen make the next generation Jetta, whenever it comes out, a better poor man's Audi. Meaning it needs to have, let's say, the same engines. I think they're fine. But it needs to have something extra. And I'm not so sure what that is, but that's up to Volkswagen to figure out. For an example, Mazda, what they did with the Mazda 3, they made that car just look really, really good. It's full of premium features. Its build quality is outstanding. And just like here in the Jetta, it has that piano black plastic, soft touch materials all throughout the dash. So let's just say that the Mazda has out-Jetted the Jetta. Oh, and another thing, that this is a bit problematic here. Those piano black plastics there that you can see trimming the doors and the dash, they scratch really easily, and that shouldn't be happening when you're paying nearly 30 grand for a car. Like I said earlier, rear seat space is very generous. There's also a very large size trunk. Again, kind of a novelty for this class, but I don't think that is any reason why you should choose a Jetta over something like the Mazda 3 if you want to really have that poor man's Audi. But in terms of fuel efficiency, this car is ranked at 25 miles per gallon in the city, 36 on the highway, and a combined 29. Okay, that's good. That's good enough, I think. It's also packed with the typical safety features: ABS brakes, 5-star crash test rating, and this one also has blind spot monitors, forward collision warning, automatic braking, and a tire pressure monitoring system. So going back, what does Volkswagen need to do to make the Jetta the proper poor man's Audi again? Well, first off, they need to switch it to the Golf's latest platform that is called MQB. It is a very, very advanced platform that took Volkswagen many years to develop, and they needed to put it to proper and full use. And the Jetta is an excellent example to do it on. Second thing, keep the engines. These are great engines. They're all these small turbocharged gasoline engines. They're really great. I can't say good enough things about them, with the one exception is that they're a little technically complicated. And third, I would appreciate it if the Jetta had a little snazzier styling next time. This is a little too plain. Come on, Volkswagen. You can do better. So do those three things. I would love to see a face-off with the Mazda 3, and we'll see who builds the best poor man's Audi luxury sports sedan type thing. So I'm out of time, everyone. Thanks for watching.